All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a story that's honestly mind-blowing. We're talking about an ancient mythological powerhouse who inspires just massive modern-day devotion. It's a tale that bridges the epic, world-ending battles of the Mahabharata with the vibrant, deeply moving faith of millions of people today. We've got absolute power, an impossible moral paradox, and the ultimate sacrifice. So, picture this. Why are millions of people flocking to a small town in Sikar, Rajasthan every single year? We're not talking about some major metropolitan hub here. We're talking about a very specific pilgrimage destination that pulls in these massive, massive crowds, especially during the month of Falgun. What exactly is the magnetic force at work here? You can get a sense of the sheer scale of the crowds during the Palgan Mela right here. It's literally a sea of devotion. Pilgrims traveling from all over, many walking for miles on foot, carrying these bright, colorful flags and singing bhajans. They're all coming to seek the blessings of a deity famously known as Hareka Sahara, which basically translates to the savior of the defeated or the refuge of the lost. But who exactly is this savior? Part 1. The unsung Mahabharata warrior, Barbarik. Now, to actually wrap our heads around this modern phenomenon, we have to rewind thousands of years. Meet Barbarik. This guy was born into a lineage of incredible, almost terrifying power. I mean, he's the grandson of the mighty Pandava, Bhima. His dad was the half-demon warrior Ghatotkacha, and his mom was Malravi. In fact, he was named Barbarik because when he was born, his hair looked exactly like the fierce, untamed mane of a lion. He was literally born and bred for martial greatness. But, just having a strong lineage wasn't quite enough for him. Through some seriously intense meditation, Barbarik actually managed to impress Lord Shiva and the goddess Saraswati Bhavani Bhagwati. And his reward? Unmatched skill and, most importantly, 3 divine, absolutely infallible arrows. With just these 3 arrows, Barbarik had the terrifying efficiency to end any conflict, even the epic Kurukshetra war, in a matter of minutes. Think about how wild that is. The first arrow paints the targets. The second arrow marks his allies. And the third arrow? It flawlessly seeks out and destroys only the enemies, and then pops right back into his quiver safely. He was, hands down, the most formidable warrior of his time. Part 2. The paradox of power and the 3 arrows. So you can probably guess that having this kind of immense power creates a pretty massive moral dilemma, especially right as the Kurukshetra war was about to kick off. But here's the catch. Barbarik wasn't just a walking weapon of mass destruction. He was bound by a really strict moral code. He made a solemn promise to his guru to never use his power for personal vengeance, and, this is the big one, to always fight for the weaker side. It sounds noble, right? Always defend the underdog? But as we're about to see, it set the stage for a tragic paradox. Well, word of this vow eventually reaches Lord Krishna, who is essentially the master strategist of the Pandavas. Krishna realizes instantly how dangerous this could be. So he disguises himself as a humble Brahmin to intercept Barbarik and basically challenges him to prove his power by marking every single leaf on a massive tree. But secretly, Krishna plucks one leaf and hides it right under his foot. And it's astonishing what happens next. The arrow darts around, tags every single leaf on the branches, and then it just flies down and hovers right over Krishna's foot. It was literally demanding he move so it could mark that last hidden leaf. Krishna knew right then and there. Absolutely nothing could escape this guy's aim. But this little test revealed a fatal flaw in the vow. Krishna asks Barbarik, hey, which side are you going to fight for? Barbarik says the Pandavas, since they're the weaker side. But Krishna points out the trap. The absolute second Barbarik, with his invincible arrows, joins the Pandavas, the Kauravas instantly become the weaker side. So by his own vow, he'd have to switch sides, and then switch back. His sheer power would force him into this endless loop, constantly bouncing between armies until literally everyone on the battlefield was dead, leaving him as the sole survivor. Part 3. The ultimate divine sacrifice. To prevent absolute annihilation and keep the balance of Dharma intact, Krishna had to step in and make an unthinkable request. Recognizing that Barbarik's active presence would destroy everyone, Krishna asked for his head as charity. And Barbarik, being a true devotee, selflessly severed his own head and offered it up. He only asked for one thing in return, to be able to witness the epic battle of Kurukshetra from start to finish. So Krishna agreed, placing the living head atop a nearby hill so he could watch. I will always fight for the side that is losing. There's just this incredible, tragic irony woven into his destiny here. His absolute, unbending commitment to the defeated, to being the ultimate savior of the underdog, is exactly what made him too dangerous for the battlefield. It's the very thing that necessitated his ultimate sacrifice. But the story doesn't end there. After the war, Krishna was so deeply moved by Barbarik's supreme sacrifice and his pure devotion that he granted him a divine blessing. Krishna declared that in the Kali Yuga, which is the current age we're living in, Barbarik would actually be worshipped by Krishna's own name, Shyam. He would become the ultimate refuge for anyone who is suffering, defeated, or lost. Part 4. The Sacred KHATU Temple. Fast forward a few centuries, and this ancient mythical sacrifice literally physically manifests in the deserts of Rajasthan. Legend says that Barbarik's buried head was discovered when a cow miraculously started releasing milk over the exact spot. This actually led the local ruler, King Rup Singh Chauhan, to dig up the head and build the very first temple back in 1027 AD after he had a divine dream. Later on, around 1720, the temple was beautifully renovated into the gorgeous white Makrana marble structure that's standing there today. And that brings us to the destination millions flock to today. You have this stunningly adorned deity of Khatu Shamji, which represents the revered head of Barbarik. And right nearby is the Shamkund, the sacred pond where the head was miraculously discovered. Devotees genuinely believe that taking a dip in this holy water, especially during the Palgan month, brings immense spiritual healing. Part 5. Legacy of the Defeated. It is honestly amazing how much this ancient lore deeply permeates our modern life. You've got devotees tackling this grueling 17-kilometer Nishan Yatra, a foot pilgrimage from Ringis carrying massive flags. You have the beautiful, strict rhythm of 5 daily artis filling the temple. It's even crossed over into mainstream media with movies like the 2013 Mahabharat Arbabarik, and it completely dominates the digital space with chart-topping viral YouTube bhajans by singers like Kanya Mittal. The savior of the defeated is everywhere. So let's wrap this up with a thought. We live in a world that is absolutely obsessed with winning, right? With being number one, with dominating the competition. Yet millions of people find their deepest solace, their greatest comfort, in a warrior who gave up his life specifically so he wouldn't destroy the losing side. Why does Barbarik's ancient choice to stand with the defeated resonate so profoundly with us today? Well, maybe it's because at some point we all face defeat, and we all need a little Harika Sahara. Think about that and keep exploring.